should be a good one between Wofford and Chattanooga. Wofford wins the tip, but guess who got the ball? Darius Banks, who takes it right to the hoop in a quick 2-0 mock lead.
Great job by Banks. And he didn't steal it. He just was positioned perfectly after Wofford won the tap by Sam Godwin and took it in for an easy 2. If this margin ends up being 2, you can look back all the way to the first play of the game.
Larson directing things for Wofford. We spotlighted him in the pregame. Now B.J. Mack, who really has a big load on his shoulders inside for the Terriers. Klesmit, see how he moves after coming off the injury. Safford's 3 at the shot clock. Buzzer is off the mark. An offensive rebound by Godwin. They'll get it back to B.J. Little jump hook off the mark and ripped down. The rebound by Josh Ayenyi, who Tom killed the Terriers a year ago in Chattanooga.
Yeah, he was really good. He's going to have to be good tonight as DeSosa is not playing. But there goes Malachi Smith, and he knocks down a 3 from the baseline. He is the Mocs leading scorer, and for me right now, he's one of 2 guys in contention for Southern Conference Player of the Year, with Jake Stevens for VMI being the other.
A quick 5-0 lead for Chattanooga. Wofford, of course, coming off a loss to VMI in their opener, and Chattanooga just rolled ETSU by 30 their last conference game. Once again, Mack is off to the right.
Yeah, 2 good looks inside, trying to take advantage of DeSosa not being here, but B.J. Mack unable to get him to go.
Hallwell goes underneath the hoop. They'll work it around. Long one by Smith, and Malachi Smith holds the pose. He's feeling good about himself. 6 points in the first minute and a half, and it's quickly 8-0 Chattanooga.
What a great picture-perfect start for Lamont Paris's squad here.
Wofford looking a little shell-shocked. Of course, they haven't played in a week. Chattanooga hasn't played in a while. Safford can't hit the runner. 0 for 3. Wofford on their first 3 shots from the field. Just 2 minutes in. Chattanooga with the ball and an 8-point lead. It's David G. Baptiste lining up the 3. It won't go, but an offensive board by Ayenyi, rather. Shot won't go, and finally, Mack corrals it for Wofford.
I think somebody for Wofford got a piece of that rebound attempt by Ayenyi. Wofford needs a bucket here just to see the thing go through the hoop.
Stafford wants Mack to clear out and get into position for an entry pass. Now Klesmit. Nice pass to a cutting Larson. Pull up from the elbow. Back irons out. Wofford can't buy one right now. Malachi Smith with the rebound. He'll bring it up. Loses the ball. Larson hits the floor, takes it away. 2-on-1 for Wofford. Mack gets it stripped by Caldwell. Nice defensive play. I got it. Ah, what a catch, huh?
Good hands. Good hands.
And you know what? I think I pulled a muscle doing that.
And you didn't pop the basketball with the pin. That's the other key thing.
Take a look at B.J. Mack and A.J. Caldwell, just a great fundamental player, and knocked it out of bounds. It'll belong to Wofford. Still looking to get on the board.
The other thing that you did, you called for it. That's
yeah, well, I waved you off. You don't want the 2 outfielders to
collide.
collide.
Who would do the game?
Larson to Godwin inside, uses the body and gets Wofford's first bucket. Sam Godwin, another inside player with a lot on his shoulders tonight. He's got Wofford on the board. It's 8-2.
Yeah, went up over Avery Diggs, graduate student, 6'10". We'll see more minutes tonight with DeSosa unavailable.
Key for Wofford, can they keep Mack and Godwin out of early foul trouble against the waves of big men that Chattanooga can throw at you? Banks gets loose in the corner. His pull-up is no good. Another rebound for Godwin. The Terriers will push the pace with Klesmit. 3 from the left wing. That's good, and welcome back, Max Klesmit. It's 8-5.
Yeah, Terriers missed him against VMI, missed that scoring ability. What he just did right there, pulling up after a quick outlet pass and knocking down the 3. And Wofford's back in this thing here at home.
Klesmit averages about 15 points a game. Wofford's leading scorer. They have really missed him the last couple of games. As Smith left wide open, that shot drifted off to the right. Rebounded by Larson. Wofford on a little 5-0 run after Chattanooga scored the first 8 points of the game. Mack will pull things out. Larson in front of the mock bench. Klesmit cutting, pull up, in and out. That was halfway down. Rebound Banks.
Yeah, good look that time by Klesmit. Couldn't get it to go.
Now Banks puts it on the floor. Stopped by Mack. Wofford wanted to travel, didn't get it. Get it down to Smith. Tough matchup for Larson. Skip pass. Jean Baptiste. Open 3 is good. Chattanooga shooting the lights out from 3-point range early. 11-5, and they stopped a little Wofford run.
Yeah, David Jean Baptiste, He's been at Chattanooga longer than this coaching staff has. That'll tell you anything. And Lamont Paris and staff are in their 5th year.
That beard is going to be gray by the time he uses up his eligibility, and there he is on cue, getting the rebound. Wofford's had a couple of good looks, just rim out. Now Jean-Baptiste tries to work on Klesmit, gets by him and goes up with a left hand.
See Austin Patterson, a guy that can shoot it well for Wofford. Talking about David Jean-Baptiste, I joked with him before the game. I said, how much longer are you going to keep playing for these guys? You've been here forever. He joked and said, I got 2 more years. So he does not. This is it for him. But what a great player he has been throughout his career in Chattanooga.
He's got 5. Malachi Smith has 6 for the Mocs. Luke Turner in for Wofford, as is Austin Patterson, who has the ball right now. 7 on the shot clock. Inside to Godwin, who knocks over Hankton and commits the offensive foul. Excuse me, not Hankton, but Diggs. Avery Diggs transferred in from Central Florida, and watch him set position. Might have got there a little bit late, but got the call.
Bang, bang call. Give him credit for standing in there. He was not in the restricted area. It's one of those. That's one of those places I'd love to see a no call. Just don't call anything on anybody there.
First foul on Godwin. We'll have to keep track of that. Pass goes right through the hands of Darius Banks, and it'll be Wofford basketball.
I think he took his eye off of it just for a split second to see if anyone was coming at him, and went right through his hands out of bounds. So an unforced turnover there by Chattanooga, only their 2nd turnover of the night.
Yeah, pretty clean game. Only 1 Wofford turnover to go along with 2, as Tom said, for the Mocs, as Klesmit gains the paint. Height disparity, and then almost throws it away. Patterson recovers, plenty of time. 3 from Mack is no good. Safford hustling for the rebound, but he cannot get it away from Malachi Smith. And here come the Mocs.
Malachi Smith, one of the better rebounding guards in the league, and showing why. He's a broad-shouldered big guy across the chest.
Is there anything that guy doesn't do? He also averages, like you say, 6.3 rebounds a game. Baptiste out top now. The freshman. Patterson trying to check him. That's a tough ask. And then Hankton's 3 rims out. Patterson comes back for the rebound. Quickly ahead to Klesmit. Wofford will reset. Now Mack at the free throw line. Nice head and shoulders fake going up against Diggs. Drew the contact, gets the roll, and B.J. Mack is on the board for Wofford. They cut the lead to 6.
Wasn't bad defense at all inside by Avery Diggs. That was just good footwork by B.J. Mack for Wofford.
Diggs, one of 8 transfers on this Chattanooga team, as Lamont Paris has made great work of the portal. You lose some, you gain some, but it certainly went in Chattanooga's favor this year. Smith got blocked, but drew a foul inside.
I got Max Klesmit getting the arm, I think, of Malachi Smith.
Yep, Mack came over and got the ball, but not before Klesmit had already committed the foul. So first foul on Klesmit. 2nd team foul on Wofford, and Malachi Smith will go to the free throw line. Oh, by the way, he's also an 86% free throw shooter. He's just the total package for Chattanooga. Hits the first.
And what you worry about in this day and age is the other teams come sniffing around, and bigger boys try to lure him to some brighter spotlight that they think they have. Chattanooga certainly has a lot of basketball history and tradition, and it's better for the league when guys like that stick around and play their full 4 years, which I hope Malachi will do, despite the fact that it makes Chattanooga that much harder to beat.
Yeah, Smith himself started out at Wright State before coming here a few years ago. Hits both free throws, and it's 14-7 as the Mocs have doubled up, 15-7 with 13:05 to go. Grant Ledford is in for Chattanooga as Jean-Baptiste gets a rest. Klesmit loses it, then throws it up and off the glass, and it goes. Not pretty, but it works for Max Klesmit. The Terriers back within 6.
Yeah, Wofford's got to start getting some stops on the defensive end. I think offensively they're starting to get in the flow of things, but defensively they're not really slowing Chattanooga down at all.
Smith, a nice entry pass and a tough catch in traffic for Casey Hankton, but he put it up and laid it in. 17-9. Chattanooga is 7-0 when they score 80, and they're on a roll. Way to get there as Klesmit is fouled inside.
I think they got Banks with that foul. And you're right, Chattanooga's on pace to go well above 80 tonight.
First on Banks, first team foul for Chattanooga. Mac Klesmit will go to the free throw line. So far, the shot from outside has shown no rust. Klesmit's an 88% free throw shooter. He's got that athletic kinesiology tape on the right leg, and he misses the first free throw. Tata Strickland in for Chattanooga as Lamont Paris is making liberal use of his bench here with the lead. Jay McCauley's got Corey Tripp into the game too for Wofford, trying to match. 1 out of 2 for Klesmit, 17 to Tech Mox with 12:23 to go first half.
Chattanooga hasn't played since last Thursday, a nationally televised game where they whipped ETSU. Long trip to Spartanburg, maybe just making sure guys all have their legs under them.
Ledford, 3. Nobody on the Bach roster can miss from outside. Grant Ledford drains a 3, and it's 20 to 10.
Finally up to that double-digit lead are the Mocs. And
Chattanooga 4 for 8 from three-point land, and Klesmit answers back with a triple.
Max Klesmit is keeping Wofford somewhat in this game. It's only a 7-point deficit, but without Klesmit, Wofford would be in a lot of trouble.
He's got 9. Hankton right back with a miss. Tripp with a rebound in traffic for Wofford. Corey Tripp, a freshman from Medina, Ohio, has worked his way into the rotation. Just joining us, Wofford without Isaiah Bigelow. Chattanooga without Silvio De Sosa tonight. Klesmit trying to work on Strickland, cross court to Patterson. He can hit that 3. That one's a little bit long, and Ledford rips down the board. You don't see Austin Patterson miss very often with a good look like that. Now Smith backing in Klesmit. Help comes over from Tripp. It does not matter. Malachi Smith high off the window. He's already in double digits with 10.
Yeah, what do you want him to do? You want him to shoot free throws? He can do it. He can shoot the 3. He can back you down like a post player. He's the complete package offensively.
Mack now, guarded by Hankton. Goes up with the jump hook, and that rims out. BJ Mack has had 3 good looks inside, and that one was more unlucky than the other 2. 10.5 minutes to go, first half. Chattanooga leads Wofford by 9. Caldwell, he's kind of the glue guy for this team. Ledford left open in the corner again. The 3 a little bit long. Tripp with another board for the Terriers. We'll bring it up. Patterson was motioning for it cross court. Now he works free, but mishandles the pass. He's got to dribble back into the middle. And a nice look to Mack. Oh, thought he got fouled, stays with it. BJ gave the ref a little look. He said, no matter, I'll put it back myself.
Yeah, I think he also got pinned too far under the rim as we are due a timeout. And there are 6 guys waiting to check in at the scorers table, 3 for each squad.
Looks like a hockey line change about to happen. Double team now in the corner. Patterson with the deflection from the floor. You know, Wofford's 35% from the field, but man, they've had a couple of early, easy inside ones rim out. Otherwise, that percentage will be a bit higher.
Getting good looks, just not having him fall right now.
3 on the shot clock as Banks, runner, won't go. Larson hustles back for the rebound, manages to stay in bounds, and here comes the senior point guard. Stafford back in for Wofford. Now Tripp, who stayed in during that last timeout, picks up his dribble, needs some help. Gets it from Larson. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Strickland getting some early playing time. Now Godwin, try to work on Ayenyi.
Wow.
Ayenyi reaches in and gets called for the foul.
I think they missed. I think they missed the earlier foul.
It was a foul, and just the whistle came after the second one.
Yeah,
that's why Ayenyi looked surprised.
I think it was that chest bump right there that was the foul, and they didn't blow the whistle then. They waited until he stuck his arm out and then called one.
First one on Ayenyi, this graduate player from Nigeria. Godwin goes up with a pretty left hand over Ayenyi and scores.
Wofford somehow has managed to get this thing down to 5, and it'll all start and rise and fall for Wofford with their defense.
E. Baptiste partially blocked. Godwin might have got a piece, but stepped on the baseline with the ball, so it'll be Chattanooga basketball. Jean-Baptiste has had no problem getting to the rim, and that's not a dig at the Wofford defense. He does that to everybody, it seems like, as Max Klesmit checks back in for the Terriers.
He's one of these guys that sometimes you look at guys and wonder, God, what kind of football player would they be? He's a guy I'd love to see as a tailback. That'll go the other way.
Offensive foul on Jean-Baptiste as Ryan Larson got to the spot first.
Yeah, just kind of beat him to the spot. Another one of those bang-bang calls could have probably gone either way. And I'll say it again, even though this one worked out for Wofford's benefit, I wouldn't mind seeing just a no call there. I think that's how you clean up things more than anything. Is not calling flops or anything. Just don't call anything and let them keep playing, and you'll clean that up out of the game.
About 8.5 minutes to go, first half. Wofford trying to hang with Chattanooga, down 5 with the ball. Godwin gets loose. Klesmit finds him. Give the assist to Max Klesmit. The hoop to Sam Godwin. The sophomores connect.
A little 6-0 run for the Terriers. Have them as close as they've been since it was 8-5.
Crowd trying to get into it. No students back yet at Wofford, so a little bit quieter than it would normally be. That one well off the mark, so bad that the shot went right to Malachi Smith. Another 3 misses. Klesmit tips it to Larson for the rebound.
That was lucky for Wofford that Klesmit didn't come right down on Sam Godwin's head or chest as he was up in the air and almost landed on him.
Max shakes loose. His 3 is short. Patterson almost walked but got the rebound. Now he'll start a new 22nd possession. Godwin working on Allende. That's been a great
with a chance to add to that run with Sam Godwin at the free throw line.
Godwin, the sophomore, misses the first. He's only a 60% free throw shooter. Really working hard to fill the void, not only tonight with Isaiah Bigelow out, but of course Messiah Jones out for the season with an Achilles injury. 2 inside bodies that Wofford could really use against this Chattanooga team. Hits 1 out of 2, so it's 22-20. Morgan Safford back in for Wofford. Get a good look at Jay McCauley calling out some defensive signals. I think Jay's in his defensive stance, ready to run out there if necessary. Jean-Baptiste. Now Caldwell, cross court.
No look pass, too.
It's to Smith, trying to work on a screen by Diggs. Wofford does a nice job defensing. Now Banks tries to go baseline, and that's out of bounds. It'll be Wofford basketball. A good defense from Morgan Safford.
Yeah, he kept his feet moving and didn't give him the baseline. And when Banks had to stop, he stepped on the baseline, and that's a turnover. Chattanooga's 4th turnover of the afternoon or evening, and will send Wofford with the ball and a chance to tie or take a lead.
Klesmit. Looks like he's recovered from that thigh injury, moving well. Good position for Mack, finds an open Ryan Larson for 3 off the front of the rim, bounces harmlessly into the corner where Jean-Baptiste runs it down. They love to push the pace, and now Caldwell stolen by Klesmit, and then he's fouled by Jean-Baptiste at the logo.
That is his 2nd.
And it's also the 5th team foul on Chattanooga. Wofford's only committed 2 is Klesmit. Every time he hits the floor, I'm like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Tough kid, and bounces back up. Is David Jean-Baptiste.
He's going to have to come out. Grant Ledford's going to check in, and if you're Wofford, that's a break. No disrespect at all meant to Ledford, but Jean-Baptiste is a guy that has just... One, he's been there forever, and he's just done so many good things for this Chattanooga team over the years.
By the way, David Jean-Baptiste has 1 3. With 1 more, he will become the all-time 3-point leader in Chattanooga history. And you know about the history of that program. We'll keep a track on that. BJ Mack says, put me in a record book somewhere with that 3. And Wofford leads for the first time tonight.
10-0 Terrier run, and while they're outscoring them 10-0, it's all about the defense right now for the Terriers.
Ledford turned back by Klesmit. Wofford has certainly turned that defense up a notch. Smith tries to change that, but look at Larson staying in front of him momentarily. He'll try to back him down. Mack came over to help and forces a turnover. And then immediately Larson stripped from behind by Diggs. Smith gets it, goes up. He can't get it. And now Larson up ahead to Klesmit. Goes up strong, lays it in with the left hand after some contact. Helter-skelter basketball, but Wofford's up by 3.
Yeah, contact on both ends of the floor. There was contact on Smith, but there was also contact on Klesmit. They're letting them play.
There's your no calls you were asking for. Wofford crowd getting into this, and another steal. It's Patterson, 1-on-2. He'll take it, and is blocked by Caldwell. That's a great defensive play, and Patterson probably should have pulled that one back out.
Yeah, I think he was feeling the energy, and give Caldwell credit. He got him with his offhand where there was no chance for him to foul him.
Ledford, a nice shot fake, but couldn't shake loose. Chattanooga will reset.
This is where if you're a school like Wofford, you wish the students were here, because this place would be rocking right now.
They hit the 3, air ball.
He forced that shot. He's trying to hit a grand slam when they just need a single right now.
Yeah, both teams' scoring has been dominated by 2 players. It's been Jean-Baptiste and Smith for Chattanooga, and really Klesmit and Godwin for Wofford. Klesmit holds outside. Under 5 minutes to play, and what's turned into a very entertaining first half. Mack, can it go? Can't get the roll, but B.J. Mack will go to the free throw line, and another foul on the Chattanooga box. This one is on Diggs.
Chattanooga is more than 3 minutes without a bucket.
Avery Diggs.
Got a stat monitor malfunction. The stat monitor has the score 25-25, which is not correct.
We'll work on that. It is 25-22 as B.J. Mack goes to the free throw line. And that one was ugly.
You can hear it. Every Terrier that's gone to the line so far has missed their first one and then made their second one.
Austin Patterson out, Corey Tripp in for Wofford. As Jay McCauley has got to go deep into the bench. Missing a couple guys tonight, as is Chattanooga. Mack misses them both. Diggs with the rebound. BJ's usually a good free throw shooter for a big man.
Wofford can't add to that 12-0 run they're on.
Knox with the ball, now down 3. Caldwell's in the corner. Draws a double team, now Smith. Thinking about a 3, now he'll try to work on Larson, can't do it. 8 to shoot for Ledford. Tripp hounding him. Now Banks has to shoot the 3 in front of the Wofford bench. It's not the shot they're looking for, and it bounces into the corner. Wofford basketball. Darius Banks is a really good player in terms of doing all the little things. It helps the team win, but he is not an out-and-out three-point shooter, and that was a kind of a desperation heave.
And again, this all goes back. Chattanooga was well on pace to score 80 in this thing. And we said that at about the 12-minute mark. Since then, Wofford has really started to clamp down on them defensively.
Chattanooga had 20 before we got halfway through the half. Since then, that's about it. Mack, nice head and shoulders fake. Wofford will move it around to a wide open Klesmit. He can't hit. Wofford getting some good looks, but they're not going down last couple of possessions. Caldwell inside. Diggs has position. And for a little perspective, in Wofford's home loss a week ago. Avery Diggs, a 56% free throw shooter, but nails that one. Polomox within 2. He'll get one more.
And if you're just joining us, they're doing it without DeSosa. Wofford's doing it without Isaiah Bigelow. So a couple of big losses for both clubs.
1 out of 2 for Diggs. It remains a 2-point game as Corey Tripp brings it across the timeline for Wofford.
Freshman starting to see a lot more playing time for the Terriers.
Jim McCauley usually rewards tough play in practice, so you know where those minutes are coming from. Mack going to work on Diggs. Now kicks it back out. Back into Mack. This time BJ will go up with it. Spin move won't go. Look at the follow by Safford, soaring in from the right wing.
Caught it and stuck it back all in one motion. That was an athletic play by Morgan Safford.
When he is healthy, he's got as much ups as anybody on the Wofford roster. Say that time fast. Diggs comes back, gets it knocked away, misses. Here comes Klesmit. Wofford with the ball and a 4-point lead as we near 3 minutes to go in the half. Tripp's wide open, his 3, good! And Corey Tripp fires Wofford into a 7-point lead.
This thing just flipped on a dime about, I don't know, 9 minutes ago of game action.
Wofford playing, look at the defensive zeal, and Jean-Baptiste goes in. Mack got a piece of it, and then Jean-Baptiste touched it out of bounds.
He caught it out of with his foot on the baseline. You can see it here on the replay. Got him from behind it, B.J. Mack, and when Jean-Baptiste landed out of bounds with the ball, he was, or excuse me, when he landed, he was standing out of bounds partially. Again, this field goal drought for Chattanooga goes all the way back to the 11:04 mark of the first half when Malachi Smith made a jump shot to make it 22-13. Since then, Wofford has outscored Chattanooga 17-1.
Klesmit now right in front of the mock bench, gives it to Mack. He's out of ways. Hankton forces a bad pass. Jean-Baptiste steals. Can he corral it right in front of the bench? He can, and finds Banks alone. Good hustle by Banks to get down the floor in front of the crowd. Darius Banks now has 4. Chattanooga's back within 5, and they end that field goal drought.
And that was a telegraphed pass from B.J. Mack.
Now another deflection. Now Chattanooga's trying to dial up some more defense. Safford, can he turn the corner? Somehow gets it into Mack, but it's taken away. Good hands by Banks. Smith bringing it up, wants some movement out of his perimeter players as Klesmit tries to force the ball out of his hands. Now Hankton will drive, spin back. Klesmit shuts that off. Another deflection by Wofford. It's out of bounds off trip. It'll stay with the Terriers.
I think that pass from Hankton to Smith had way too much heat on it, and it went right through Smith's hands. Now, fortunately for Chattanooga, it deflected off of a Wofford player, but Hankton showing his best fastball. Chattanooga might want to think about adding a baseball program.
7 Chattanooga turnovers to just 3 for Wofford with $1:40 left to go in this half.
Remember, this is a Wofford team that turned it over 18 times last Wednesday against VMI.
Aldwell in stride, but the 3 is too long. Big rebound by Klesmit. Bug coming back to help out.
Yeah, Klesmit had position on Malachi Smith.
And then another deflection. Now Chattanooga's really forcing Wofford to do some weird things. Terriers get it back. And here's Safford, and he gets it stolen away. Banks has really led the defensive charge. Jean-Baptiste trailing and hits the 3. he let us know about it, too.
That was for me, too, yeah.
David Jean-Baptiste has just become the all-time three-point leader in Chattanooga mock history.
And if you know that history, that is so impressive.
Now with 244 three-pointers, another steal, broken record. Caldwell all alone, and we are tied at 30.
Too much dribbling by the Terriers and quick hands by Chattanooga, and give the Mocs credit. They've climbed back in this thing and made it a tie game.
3 straight possessions, 3 straight turnovers for Wofford.
We were too kind to them earlier about the 1 turnover.
Godwin. Now Patterson. Chattanooga really going for some steals here that might open some things up, but no, it won't. Another steal. This time it's Smith. 4 straight turnovers for Wofford. Jean-Baptiste will turn it out, and the Mocs may play for 1 here.
So that's 4 straight trips. No shot attempts for the Terriers.
Banks gets loose and throws it down. Godwin went for the steal, or Patterson didn't get it. Larson on technically.
Chattanooga, Wofford's got 1, and that's Sam Godwin. The guys for Chattanooga that have 2 fouls are David Jean-Baptiste and Josh Ayeni.
Wofford going left to right here in the second half, dressed in their home white unis as Klesmit turns the corner. Now Safford drops it into B.J. Mack. Banks guarding him, forces the pass back out. Larson was scoreless in the first half. Klesmit was not. Step back 3, rims in and out. About the 3rd Wofford shot that's done that here tonight.
Good look, good set play by Wofford. They anticipated the double team coming from A.J. Caldwell and swung it around the horn and then still got the open look. But Max had it rim out on him.
Baseline, Banks finds Smith. Euro step in the lane and gets the roll. Malachi Smith picks up just the way he started the first half. He's now got 12.
And it's
Chattanooga by 4.
Yeah, 11-0 run spanning the into the first half into the start of the second half.
Lesman, now Larson. Entry pass to Godwin. Double teamed for the open player. Larson has it, still 10 on the shot clock. Larson tries to penetrate. Look at Jean-Baptiste stay in front and then block the shot from behind. Larson tried to get it back but couldn't. Chattanooga's got it.
Yeah, good defensive play that time by David Jean-Baptiste. I think he almost let him get past him because he knew he had a reach advantage, if you will, to be able to block the shot.
Trying to ISO Jean-Baptiste. So shoot a 3 over Mack. Kind of tells himself to settle down a little bit as he walks back up the floor. He is expressive with the body language, and now Chattanooga has roared back up by 7.
And he did a nice job there, got the mismatch with Mack on him, and BJ has to respect his ability to get to the floor or get to the rim, and Jean-Baptiste just forced a travel on Max Klesman. So this second half starting out like the first half ended, but also how the first half started, with Chattanooga doing a lot of scoring and Wofford doing a lot of nothing.
8th Wofford turnover of the ball game. Chattanooga has a chance to extend a 7-point lead here with 2 minutes gone by in half number 2. Baptiste, Safford, maybe Wofford's best on-the-ball defender, now guarding him. Ayenyi goes cross-court into the corner. Banks dribbles out of the corner, gets it knocked away. A reach in by Safford. Chattanooga retains possession. They've got to hoist a shot. Smith got it off. You half expected that to go in.
I did expect it to go in.
But it didn't. Wofford comes back. Godwin on the run! Oh, my word! Sam Godwin!
Oh, my. Put that in your highlight film.
The sophomore with a full head of steam, and A.J. Caldwell not only gets called for the blocking foul, he is just now getting up.
We can show that one 3 or 4 more times. Any angle you got back there, run it, because this is Sports Center worthy. He was way above the rim. The official, he has to call the block on that. No matter what, you cannot call a charge on that play.
Sam Godwin, and everybody gathers themselves here at Jerry Richardson Indoor Stadium, completes the 3-point play, and Wofford's back in this one at 37-33.
That was explosive.
Godwin, the sophomore from Moore, Oklahoma. About as quiet a kid as you'll ever be. That was not quiet. Banks comes right there. Guess who? Godwin slaps it out of bounds.
He is a non-talker. He does not talk on the floor. His teammates were talking more after that last dunk than he was, just like after that block shot. But he may be fueling himself right now, and that could be something that Wofford needs to feed off of.
Silent Sam may need a new nickname if he keeps this up.
Slammin' Sammy.
Smith inside. Spin move inside, and look at Godwin wall up. Larson to the floor, gets the steal. Patterson across the timeline for Wofford. Safford will dribble out of the corner. Look for a cutting Klesman. It was kicked by Smith, so Wofford will get the ball back with 21 on the shot clock.
Yeah, they won't have to reset it or anything because it was only at 21. Good quick feet that time by Malachi Smith to just kind of break up that play. If you can't get your hands on it, get a foot out there and stick it at it. Break it up.
Wofford can get some outside shooting from Larson and Patterson with this current configuration on the floor. Watch out. Godwin spins inside, and it's another jam for Sutton Sam.
What a hesitation move there by Sam Godwin. Got Ayenyi up, and when he did that, he was able to duck under him and get a dunk, and the Terriers have cut it to 2.
37-35, 16:30 to go in the second half here. As Caldwell, good to see he's back after taking that contact from Godwin a little while ago. Smith can't lose Clemson, then he'll shoot over him, in and out. Offensive rebound, Jean-Baptiste dribbles back out. And now he'll turn, 3, short. Smith got a hand on it, as did Larson. It's off the Terriers. Godwin hit the deck way away from the ball.
I think Sam may be gassed right now. Yeah, he is.
He is, as he comes to the sideline. And what a hand Sam Godwin gets as he comes off the floor, and the Wofford bench letting him know about it.
He hadn't cracked a smile yet either. He wants to get some water and sit down.
Some oxygen too. All right, Chattanooga inbounds. Jean-Baptiste side to Diggs. Diggs has looked good in limited minutes. Jump hook, good.
Wow.
That was a pretty move inside over B.J. Mack. Avery Diggs, you know, he played 43 games for Central Florida. He is not an inexperienced player at all, and it's 39-35.
That move was very patient. It shows the experience.
Patterson goes hard. 5 for 5 from the floor. Godwin came in. shooting 69% from the floor. He's well above 70. Now Klesmit goes to the hoop, cannot get the roll. Another close-in miss for Wofford. If this one ends in a close one, they'll bemoan a few of these that have gotten away.
That was well defended by Avery Diggs. Bodied him up but didn't foul him.
Banks now back in. Strickland, who played some solid minutes in the first half of the Mocs, to Jean Baptiste. Tripp trying to hang with him. They work it around to Strickland with 5 to shoot. Dishes, nice pass into Banks for 2.
That was a pretty offensive possession for Chattanooga. Good spacing, and then penetrate, beat your man, get to the hoop, and when someone has to rotate over, there's going to be somebody open.
Hayden Strickland's only played in 5 games this year. Sophomore out of Corinth, Mississippi. Mack is fouled on the floor. I think they may have gotten Diggs, and they did. That is the second foul on Diggs. So 2 on Diggs, Jean Baptiste, and somebody else for Chattanooga. The monitor just changed on me. Nobody currently on the floor. Tripp inbounds, and Smith sniffed that one out, knocked it out of bounds. I think Corey Tripp kind of tried to look him off.
Ayeni's the other one with 2 fouls.
That's right. Josh Ayeni on the bench right now with 2 for the Mocs. Corey Tripp will go to the other side of the mock basket, try to get this one in. Quickly into Klesmit from his bench. It's short, knocked away. Finally coming away with it is Malachi Smith.
Good look there on the set play on the out of bounds under. Couldn't get it to go.
Chattanooga with the ball, a 6-point lead, a reach-in foul. It'll be against Max Klesmit. Second foul on Klesmit. First team foul of the half on Wofford. Got some ball, got some hand and arm too.
Wofford had the 2 explosive dunks to cut this thing to 2, but since then Chattanooga has scored the last 4 points.
Malachi Smith is 2 for 2 from the line. Make it 3 for 3. He'll get 1 more. Luke Turner and Sam Godwin back in for Wofford. Mack and Klesmit head to the bench. Hopefully Godwin got some oxygen during that brief stint on the sidelines, but the way he's playing, you don't want to keep him out for too long. 1 out of 2 for Malachi Smith. Chattanooga with a 42-35 lead as we hit 14.5 minutes to go.
Mocs in the middle of another 5-0 run, their second one of this second half.
Larson still looking for his first points of the night. Now Tripp. And we've got contact inside. It's going to be foul on Chattanooga and perhaps the 3rd foul on Avery Diggs. It is, as he got wrapped up inside with Sam Godwin. Yeah, that left arm was around the neck at one point.
Now Chattanooga goes small now with Grant Ledford coming in. This is as small as the mock lineup as we have seen tonight.
Again, joined us late. Silvio De Souza not in for Chattanooga. Didn't make the trip as Morgan Safford lays it in for Wofford.
Another good set play on the out of bounds under.
Within 5. Chattanooga trying to move the ball around the perimeter with this small lineup. Give and go not there. Jean Baptiste, a threat to shoot from pretty much anywhere in the zip code. Hankton, a triple move, thrown away. Tripp got a hand on it. He'll bring the ball across the logo at half court. Safford now zigzags in and lays it in. Morgan Safford fake left. The defense went that way. Cut back to his right.
Red Sea just parted. I mean, it was amazing what happened there. And Chattanooga's going to get Darius Banks ready to check in.
Smith tries to turn the corner on Larson. Now Hankton hands off to Strickland. Bliss on the perimeter. Wofford's had a good couple of good defensive runs as Ledford misses. Tip back out. That's going to be a foul on Wofford. That was a nice play by Casey Hankton to tip it back outside. Godwin hit for the foul, so that's only his second. Team second foul. Safford out, Klesmit in for Wofford. Get another look at it there. Again, keeping Sam Godwin and BJ Mack out of foul trouble. Wofford did such a good job with that in the first half, but They are very, very thin on the front line. No Isaiah Bigelow, of course, tonight, as you get a good look at A.J. Caldwell. He's a junior out of Sarasota, Florida, checking back in.
Some delay in letting Caldwell check back in. I'm not exactly sure why, but they've got it all sorted out, and everybody that is supposed to be in for their team is in right now.
Inbounding finally to Jean-Baptiste, who hoists up a three, won't go. Good box out by Tripp to get the rebound. Up ahead to Turner. The freshman, Luke Turner to Austin Patterson. Klesmit in front of the Wofford bench, trying to shake Jean-Baptiste. That is not early.
Corey Tripp put a move on his guy off the ball, and no one could find him.
Now Tripp's got it, gets in, back out. Turner's open, three off to the left, hits the ground. Godwin and Banks, I think it hit both of them in the air, and finally off of Godwin last. It'll be Chattanooga ball. I think that was the right call.
I thought after they threw it off of Sam, it came back down and hit the Chattanooga player before it hit the ground.
All right, so it hits the floor inbound. Godwin tries to throw it off Banks. Off of Banks, did it hit Godwin back in the chest, or did it hit, I think it may have hit Banks last, and they kind of went out of the frame. But they've gotten together, changed the call, Wofford basketball.
And they got it right. It did hit Banks as it came back down off of Sam.
That ball changed possession three times at 2 feet.
Yep. Great hustle by both guys.
Yeah, both guys really playing hard, absolutely.
And great camera work by our guys here.
Addison Harvey and his crew. Props. Larson finally gets it inbound into the backcourt where Klesmit corrals it. Wofford will reset. And all of a sudden, the seas part again, and Klesmit takes advantage and lays it in over Hankton. The second time Chattanooga's got lost on defense the last couple of minutes. Wofford's within one. Back comes Hankton, gets the roll, physical move. Shielded the ball from Sam Godwin.
I like how he put his shoulder in Sam's chest to create a little separation.
His father, Carl, former tight end for the Carolina Panthers. You know you're old when you covered fathers and now you're covering their sons?
Yeah,
that ship sailed a while ago for us, didn't it?
Well, for you, maybe.
And Godwin loses it, taken away by Hankton. Another turnover for the Terriers.
Chattanooga's gone smaller, but I think they've gone quicker for sure. I mean, that's just good, quick hands that time by Hankton.
9 turnovers for both teams now. Caldwell takes the handoff. Can't shoot over Patterson. Now Banks, he's going to go right to the hoop and misses the jam. Tried to.
He's in action tonight, so everybody's starting to get their games in gear.
Brian Larson brings it up for Wofford. Chattanooga leading 44-41. Klesmit in the paint, hangs in the lane and gets the roll. Put it in over Malachi Smith. Max Klesmit now has 15 to lead the Terriers.
This thing has really turned into a great basketball game, both ends.
Banks working on Safford. Spins inside. Mack came over to help, forces the pass. Nice ball movement by the Mock. Smith's three is good. I think he had a message for Jim Reynolds, the Chattanooga broadcaster to the left there. He said, Jim, that's three.
That's three. Good ball movement again by Chattanooga after it looked like Wofford had gotten them kind of caught in a situation in the paint that they didn't want to be in.
Wofford with the ball, trailing by 4 as Austin Patterson dribbles in front of their bench. Mack loses it momentarily, gets it back, is taking a swipe at it as Ayenyi. He's playing with a couple fouls. Deflection, it gets to Safford, and then a block from Caldwell. That was thrown off by the deflection, and Safford probably could have held on to it or shot bait, because by the time the ball finally got to him, A.J. Caldwell was right there.
Yeah, Caldwell's flying, shot fake, let him fly by you.
Yeah, if he shot fakes, Caldwell lands in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Mack, that's an interesting pass. Right in the paint, BJ goes up and gets fouled by Ayenyi. That's 3 on the Chattanooga big man, and he, once again, cannot believe it.
He has never fouled a person in his life.
A pretty solid call.
Yeah, he got him right across the arms.
Ayenyi played in 23 games last season with 17 starts.
If he had played every game against Wofford, he would have been the conference player of the year.
Yeah.
he dominated the Terriers last year.
So BJ Mack will go to the free throw line. BJ was 0 for 2. Now he hits his first free throw of the night. Now got 8 points. Chance to make it 9 here and lift Wofford to within 2. Mack, a junior from Charlotte, North Carolina. Misses it, though, and a big, strong rebound by Tata Strickland for the Mocs. 10.5 minutes to go.
Terriers have left 5 points out there. They're 4 for 9 at the line.
Smith on Larson. Ayenyi can't back in. Smith's 3 from the corner is good, and now Chattanooga's starting to heat up from outside. Malachi Smith especially leads all scorers with 19.
You can't help off of him, and I know Wofford's trying to dig down there and get a little double team, but when you help off him, you got to either close fast or have somebody rotate over.
Mack thought he was fouled, gets it to Safford. 11 to shoot. BJ trying to work on Ayenyi, and
trouble getting the ball inbound.
Yeah, that's been a theme tonight. Chattanooga's done a nice job defending these set inbounds plays. Mack gonna back in. Malachi running jump hook. Can't get the roll. Coming back strong and getting the rebound is Hankton, and he's fouled by Mack. And BJ can't believe it, but I think Hankton had a good hold on the basketball before BJ reached in. First foul on Mack. Third foul on Wofford. Here's another good look, and that was a big man's rebound by Casey Hankton. 6-point margin for Chattanooga as we hit 9:20 to go here, second half.
It's a big possession right here for Chattanooga.
Just thinking the same thing, and Hankton goes backdoor, but he was off balance and can't hit the runner. Nice speed, and Godwin, look out. Gets his own rebound after Smith played some nice defense and puts it back up and in.
I think Sam might have been almost on his knees when he got that thing to go.
Sam Godwin leaving it all on the floor. He's got 14. Terriers back within 4.
That's a big swing right there. Chattanooga was a 3 away from making it a 9-point lead.
Jean-Baptiste can't hit from the outside. Hankton scrapping. Who wants it? Bodies on the floor. Safford comes away with it for the Terriers.
Chattanooga's got a man down, but you don't stop it offensively.
5 on 4.
Just said as Rob Rourke making sure we know what's going on. These guys have done a good job tonight.
Ref's doing a good job here in front of Commissioner Jim Schaus, who's seated right to our left and is
it helps
watching a great ball game here. Pass goes into the backcourt. Oh, Klesmit, yep, I think he just barely, with that second mini step, caught the half-court line. It's an over and back, and it'll be Chattanooga ball. If Max has a size 11 shoe instead of a size 12 shoe, we're still playing.
Yep.
It was, I think he initially saved it, but that momentum took a little
just took him over. Yep.
Step, and he towed the line, so to speak. Chattanooga basketball, 4-point lead for the Mocs, 8:18 to go. Chattanooga coming off a 30-point win over ETSU. Wofford a home loss against VMI last week. Diggs is back in the game with Ayenyi on the bench with 4 fouls. He's got it down in the low post. Larson tries to dig and help out. Jump hook won't go. Safford, big rebound. He'll lead the charge for Wofford. Now Klesmit under the hoop. Back out. Patterson got caught in.
Storm back in their second half. Take a lead over Sanford. Furman and UNCG playing a tight one, and VMI with a heck of a comeback to put together a tight game up at Johnson City, where they're not playing much defense as either squad.
See if the Keydets can start off 3-0 for the first time in a gajillion years in Southern Conference play. David Jean-Baptiste has it for Chattanooga. Now they get it inside to Diggs. He's working on Sam Godwin. Jump stop. Lefty draws the foul. That is the fourth on Sam Godwin. Only had 1 in the first half, but Chattanooga's taken the ball to him a couple of times here in half 2, and now Godwin most likely is going to have to take a seat on the bench.
Kind of snuck up on everybody. I think that he's got 4 fouls.
See, I was under the impression that he had 3 going in, but Yep, that is indeed his fourth, as Diggs can't convert the second free throw, so it's 51-46, a 5-point lead for Chattanooga. This Tripp is back in the game, gets it to Safford. Godwin's going to stay in with those 4 fouls. We'll have to double check those foul calls too. Godwin loses it inside, but a late whistle and a call against Chattanooga.
I think they got Diggs.
That's 4 on Diggs if the current stat monitor we have is correct. It was announced. Both Godwin's foul and Diggs' foul were announced as 4 on the PA.
They both have 4 on the stat monitor, but it does seem like Diggs might have 4 fouls. It does not seem like Godwin has 4.
The impression is, historically, Jay McCauley has gotten somebody out of there with 4 fouls. And I'm thinking maybe Godwin has 3, hits the front end of a 1-and-1 as Wofford's now in the bonus. We'll see if we can get that sorted out at the next time out.
It would be a real bad situation if it's wrong.
Can't get the second. Safford knocks the ball out of bounds. It'll be Chattanooga basketball as Morgan was trying to lobby for the call there.
Terriers are leaving a lot of points out there on the free throw line.
Free throw, and then especially the first half, those missed layups, little baby jump hooks, threes that went in and out. Woulda, coulda, shoulda if Wofford drops this game. Ayenyi's back in with his 4 fouls as Smith, a rope from the right side of the arc. Malachi Smith above his season average. He's got 22 points, and now a little bit of danger zone for Wofford, down 7.
Yeah, 7-point disadvantage here for the Terriers, and Chattanooga's starting to feel good about themselves.
Godwin spins baseline, triple team for an instant. Great ball movement by the Terriers. Larson's going to penetrate and lays it up and in. First bucket of the night for Ryan Larson. Couldn't have come at a better time.
Wofford's got to get back to that defense we saw for the middle portion of the first half, where they were suffocating.
Mismatch, Chattanooga. Caldwell left open, spin.
Silvio DeSosa. Wofford also shorthanded with no Isaiah Bigelow.
Glad you're with us here on ESPN Plus and also our radio audience on the Wofford Digital Network. As Godwin has it in the high post, hands off to Klesman. He's been quiet in the second half. Not anymore. Max Klesman makes it a 5-point game as we're under 6 to play.
That was a good set play by Wofford, and Klesman had some time to knock that down, and he did, and Wofford really needed it.
Now Banks works it around to Caldwell. He turns the corner on Tripp, and it's deflected by Larson. Steal Wofford. Safford has it.
Cross-court passes are so hard to execute.
Especially against these two teams who are playing some pesky defense here tonight. Max has a step, goes to the cup and lays it in. 5 straight points for Max Klesman. Wofford's back within 3 at 57-54.
And it started with the deflection on the defensive end, allowed them to get out and get moving a little bit.
If it comes down to just a scoring contest, Chattanooga's got the advantage.
Absolutely.
Wofford can scrap on defense and not let Smith penetrate like that. They've got a chance, and Smith was able to get it to Ayenyi, who got fouled.
But they got Morgan Safford.
Second foul on Morgan Safford. 5 team fouls on Wofford. Josh Ayenyi is going to go to the free throw line. He's 11 for 13 on the season. Doesn't get there much. When he does, he usually converts. Oh, and rattled that one home. Might have to repaint the rim. BJ Mack in as Wofford gets bigger as he replaces Corey Tripp.
Terriers back with their original starting 5.
Ayenyi, the 6'7" graduate student. 1 out of 2.
Lane
Banks
violation.
got in for the rebound, but I think that's who the lane violation was on. No,
it was on Sam Godwin.
It's
He
going to
got
be
in
on
there
Godwin.
first. Yeah.
That may have worked out better for Wofford as it takes away the offensive rebound and a chance for 2 instead of 1 for Chattanooga. Ayenyi swishes that one, so it does cost Wofford 1 point. 59-54. We're about to hit 5 minutes ago in a down and dirty dogfight here in Spartanburg. Klesmit explores the right side. Nothing there. Knocked away. Good defense by Ayenyi. He fronted BJ Mack and caused another Wofford turnover. Their 12th.
Illegal screen.
Yep.
And I think he just fouled out.
Yep. Josh Ayenyi rolled over Ryan Larson. And that is the one call that he is not arguing tonight.
Yeah, I think he knew that one.
Larson snuck in, kind of a wily senior. And Ayenyi never saw him. So Josh Ayenyi fouls out.
But now Diggs is in, and he's got 5. And Hankton is another guy that's a little bit got some height. He's getting his, Diggs has got 4. He can't play with 5. And Hankton's got dealing with a bloody lip.
Larson, give and go. Godwin can't convert, but he gets the offensive rebound and the putback. Nice pass by Larson. Doesn't get the assist because of the miss, but he made that play, and it's 59-56.
This is when you would think normally if students are here, you get some crowd noise as Wofford's trying to climb back into it.
Nice pass inside to Diggs. Wow. How about the touch pass?
Yeah, did a nice job of floating it over Sam Godwin, who was fronting Diggs.
Godwin's got it now. Hand off to Safford. On a cut. Klesmit off motion. Hit the deck. Didn't go.
Type feel to it that neither team would want to go to overtime, and it could get there.
Wofford ball deflected by Smith. Can he save it? He does, but right to Morgan Safford, who goes in the lane and can't hit. Banks with the rebound for the Mocs, and he's fouled by Tripp, who thought he got all ball, but evidently did not. First on Tripp, 6 fouls now on Wofford, so one more in Chattanooga will be in the 1-and-1. Safford tried to take advantage and just could not convert.
It was good defense at the beginning by Smith, and Chattanooga couldn't come up with that loose
Quick
ball.
pass inside. Hankton got loose and missed the bunny right at the rim.
That's a big miss for Chattanooga. That could have made it a 7-point advantage.
Klesmit on the other end, shedding tacklers. Gets it knocked away. Ball on the floor, and bodies hit the floor. Held ball. It'll belong to Chattanooga on the alternate possession.
There have been times, we saw it at the end of the first half, Wofford just maybe dribbles it a little too much.
Maybe one dribble too many.
Yeah, more passing, less dribbling.
Sam Godwin back in for the Terriers. As Tripp will get a seat. Godwin's got 17 points, 5 rebounds, 20 for Max Klesmit. On the other side, Malachi Smith with 22 leads all scorers for Chattanooga.
Problem for Wofford is you get 37 from Godwin and Klesmit. Then you don't have much after that. BJ Mack's got 8. Morgan Safford's got 6.
Gene Baptiste has been quiet in the second half offensively. We wonder if that will continue. Now Malachi Smith on the perimeter. Back to Gene Baptiste. Must have heard me. Lines up a 3. I'll shut up now.
He was wide open. They got caught on a switch, and a 6-year guy, I think, if not, he's in his 5th, although it feels like he's in his 12th. Hit a big 3 for Chattanooga.
Hawks are now 11 for 26 from 3-point range as Larson comes right back with a floater for 2.
This is the position now where Wofford's got to get stops. They cannot trade buckets with Chattanooga, now down by 6. And Chattanooga can work a little clock if they want to as well.
2.5 minutes to go. Diggs has it outside. Caldwell. Cross court back the other way to Banks. He's going to work on Mack. Now Smith inside to Diggs. He's got position on Godwin. Spins up underneath. That's a sweet offensive move for the graduate transfer from Central Florida. Avery Diggs lifts the Chattanooga lead to 8 as we near 2 minutes to go.
You can see how they can almost go old school basketball with you and just beat you to death in the post.
Safford's pass off the leg of Godwin, a huge turnover. It'll be Chattanooga basketball.
Yeah, another trip where Wofford doesn't even get a shot off. Corey Tripp's going to check in for the Terriers. BJ Mack will come out.
14 turnovers for the Wofford Terriers, who have been doing that a lot lately, averaging nearly 12 turnovers a game. That is not the kind of basketball that Jay McCauley wants. They get it inbounds. Chattanooga does to Gene Baptiste. We're under 2 to play. Chattanooga with the ball at an 8-point margin. Jean-Baptiste gets loose on the left side, and now they will indeed milk the clock a little bit. And it's stolen, is it? No, it's not. Smith gets it back in and goes to the hoop and draws the foul. Near steal for Wofford, but that guy, Malachi Smith, heady as always. And what a spin move.
I mean, that was pretty.
Malachi Smith and his 86% free throw shooting slate at the line to shoot 2. He will not get the roll on that one. A rare miss.
If he had made both, he could have made it a 4-possession game, which was 141.
You see a final VMI fall short at ETSU, so the Keydets suffer their first conference loss in the season. How about that for a bounce-back win for ETSU, 80-79 in Johnson City. That's where the Wofford Terriers will be on Saturday. 1 out of 2 for Malachi Smith. He's got 23.
I don't think anybody's going to go undefeated in the league this year.
The balance, I was talking to Commissioner Schaus, and it's just like that. The balance is so good. As Wofford had a chance, but B.J. Mack couldn't handle the pass. And
would have been an easy 2 for B.J. Mack, which is exactly what you want in this situation. A quick, easy 2, and then an opportunity to foul or try for a steal and foul, but couldn't convert.
Then Caldwell knocked it out of bounds, so it's Wofford ball. But 1:34, time is running out on Wofford. They've got to get some points here. Klesmit, more big contact from Banks. Now he's double teamed. Safford has it in the paint, cross court. Larson, high arching 3 is good. Chattanooga with the ball with a 6-point lead as Wofford shows some full court pressure. Malachi Smith gets it up ahead easily, and they break the press. Now Wofford trying to trap and foul, and then loose ball. Caldwell goes to the floor and saves it. What a play by A.J. Caldwell, gets it to Jean-Baptiste. He absolutely saved Chattanooga's bacon on this possession. Now 10 to shoot. Now Wofford's just got to play it out. They leave Hankton wide open. Jean-Baptiste at 3, good. That might about do it with 54.3 seconds to go. Wofford will try to come back, but had a chance to steal, just couldn't gather it in. And then Hankton with a steal and a save to Caldwell, and they will just milk the clock here.
Got a foul, and Malachi Smith's not going to give the ball up there. Smartly by him. What a heck of a play over here by Hankton. Just slapped it out of Max Klesmit's hands, and then able to save it and throw it to his guy.
And before that, Caldwell with the save that resulted in that. David Jean-Baptiste's 3. Jean-Baptiste has 17 to complement Smith's 23. Malachi Smith hits the front end of the 1-and-1. He'll get one more. This guy has been amazing this season. Preseason also gone. He's on the Lou Henson Award watch list. 6 of the last 7 make it 7 of the last 8 now with 20-plus points. And oh, by the way, the second leading rebounder on the team as well. This is the second, 71-61. Wofford down 10. They need a miracle as Safford goes strong to the hoop. Offensive rebound here kind of in the final 30 seconds with their free throws. Knocked out of bounds by Larson. It'll stay with Chattanooga. Only 2 seconds went off the shot clock. So about a 2-second difference. 28 of the shot clock, 30.6.
But now it's a spot throw in.
Can't move. They get it into Jean-Baptiste. He looks up, quickly ahead. Caldwell makes a nice play. Banks loses the handle, and I think he gets fouled. I thought for an instant he lost the ball. It went back into the backcourt, but instead B.J. Mack called for the foul.
I think Banks was concerned as well about that. I thought they might call him for a carry.
So Darius Banks will get a trip to the free throw line. People forget that he was a 1,000-point scorer for James Madison. Then transferred over here, and the Mocs have done a great job, not only with transfers, but so many guys taking advantage of the extra year.
Yeah.
Because of COVID. You know, Wofford had a couple of guys who are in that situation. Storm Murphy's now playing at Virginia Tech. Trey Hollowell at Morehead State in Kentucky. Lamont Paris managed to keep a bunch of those guys here and then augmented it with 8 transfers of his own. As Safford's 3 is long, he gets it back. He'll lay it in.
to do to get there. Terriers have that talent, but they haven't really shown it yet.
Yep, Banks is fouled to the backcourt by B.J. Mack with 13.3 to go. In terms of Wofford building on some of the things we saw here tonight, when they turn up the defense, they can play with anybody in the conference. Is that too hard a pace to sustain for 40 minutes, considering how shorthanded they've been roster-wise a couple of times
Well,
this year?
I was going to say, I think, you know, the VMI game, Wofford is missing Max Klesmit. The game tonight, they're missing Isaiah Bigelow. Keaton Turner not available tonight. So you start missing some guys, and as Banks knocks down another free throw, you get into a situation where guys' role changes each time depending on the game and who's available. And I think you said that earlier. It's just something they've got to figure out.
Darius Banks rattles home the second free throw. He's got 12 points very quietly. Trip into the front court with less than 10 seconds to go. Wofford has a couple tries at it. Klesmit is fouled with 3.8 to go. So Max Klesmit will go to the free throw line, if nothing more than to add to his 20 points on the night in his first game back in 3, after missing 2 rather.
I'm going to go back to something, rarely have I said this. The last minute and a half of the first half cost Wofford this game.
That 9-0 run, I think you're out. That, and you could go back and look at, you know, some early misses inside. The free throws didn't go down, but I think you hit the nail on the head. Wofford had roared back. They had Chattanooga somewhat on the ropes, about ready to go into the locker room with a lead at home, and just like that, it's a 2-point Chattanooga lead at halftime, and they never